The water is wide, I cannot get on, and neither have I wings to fly. Give me.
Once upon a time, there was a girl who looked remarkably like me. You know how much weather we have? Well, that's how many feelings she had. It was like there was one sky outside her and a sky just as huge on the inside. She was one of the most interesting people you'd ever want to meet, but nobody knew it. Because she lived in Gray, Indiana, a town which was primarily notable for being the most boring place in the entire world.
June, put a lid on it.
Mother, there's nothing to do here but live here.
Hell, we got everything right here in Gray Bodicka need.
Mr. Collins, there is no need to curse.
We got folks to farm.
That will be me.
And folks to fix thrashers and grow plows with broken out wagons and such.
That will be you.
And plenty of folks to fix a meal.
That would be me.
And me.
And me.
And me.
I mainly get stuck with the dishes.
Breakfast, dinner, and supper. Every blessed day, 3 times a day, till the end of foreseeable time.
Tiny, you don't have but one cell to cook for.
I cook for myself, I cook for my brother, I cook for...
What I mean is, you don't have a husband, dear.
Well, bless you for pointing that out, Belva.
And we've got ourselves a soul fixer.
Rennius Wingfield, brother to Tiny and pastor at large.
That man would baptize a dog.
I always loved water.
One time, he got so hepped up with the spirit, he tried dunking a cat. That didn't work out too well.
Hold it, just rein it in, would you? The reason I dunked every creature in sight, including the aforementioned feline, is this. I just couldn't imagine a heaven without them. If heaven ain't much like Indiana, then Lord God forgive me, I don't want to go. But I'm planning to go, and I'm planning to take this whole town with me. Lock, stock, and cat.
But Puff wasn't much for the water, you see. She scratched out the preacher's eye.
Oh, it was awful. She lashed out and gutted it clean from the socket, that cat.
I heard tell she ate the eye, too.
Gobbled it right down, sat there, and smiled.
You see that? That's just what I'm talking about. That right there, that eyeball-eating cat is about the most interesting thing that's ever happened around here. Well, at least till my story begins. Anatomy of Gray.
Chapter 1.
In the beginning, we had folks fix houses and folks fix thrashers. Folks fix meals and houses and folks to fix a whole bunch of other things. And we had folks to save souls. But the one thing we lacked in our town was a person to fix other people. For Gray, at the time, was a town with no healer. And that's where the death of my father fits in.
Softly and tenderly, Jesus is calling for you and for me.
June lost her pa, Rebecca was widowed, and we lost a good neighbor and friend.
There wasn't nothing that man could not grow. His alfalfa used to come in so pretty. Grown man would stand in front of his fields and wait.
And then one day, out of nowhere, his heart just gave out.
It was Junie who found him, still tethered to his plow.
Her father's face was dark blue under the hot white noon sun, and the dust of his fields floated around him.
And so we all gathered together, like leaves of an autumn together, to turn that man back to the earth. Amen.
The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away.
Blessed be the name of the Lord.
Ashes to ashes,
Ashes to ashes,
and dust unto dust.
dust unto dust.
It was a beautiful service.
He was a great man.
I'm here for you both. Oh, thank you. I'm so sorry for your loss. You two can come to me if you need anything, of course.
I do hope to see you all at church next week. He's in a better place
Oh,
now, June.
I'm sorry, June. I'm so sorry.
Are they sorry, Miss Becky?
Junie,
He's at peace now.
my condolences. I'm
Come on. You need anything,
He
you
was a great farmer.
Your pa's gone to a better world, June. Don't you ever forget that, you hear?
Come on. Thank you. Throughout the funeral and the well-meaning whispers which followed, I kept choking back the urge to just stand up and scream. It ain't right. It ain't fair that my father's gone and my mother's weeping alone in her room. I can't even breathe without crying, and nothing will feel the same to me, ever. I can't believe my pa won't see the sun rise again or be here to give me away when I marry someday. And I'd trade every feeling of happiness I've ever known just to see him again. People say time heals everything, but time didn't heal my father. And neither did God.
So that night, June put pen to paper and wrote herself a business cycle letter.
Dearest Almighty, I don't want anyone I care about to die again ever, including, but not limited to me. So please, would you send us a doctor?
She wrote.
And make him a good-looking doctor.
June thought.
Because I'm almost 16 and I don't think I'm vain, but I know I'm not ugly. And the boys around here just, well, boys around here.
The day the healer arrived was precipitous, friends, in a number of ways.
Would you look at those thunderheads?
Rolling in blacker than I've seen on a Sunday.
Well, maybe she'll blow right on by us.
I doubt it, Homer.
I don't mind the rain. I hate the green thunder.
It's just the good Lord up there blowing his nose.
I've seen some hells in my day, but this takes the cake.
Mr. Collins, have you seen my dog?
No,
Junie, if that dog of yours is any smart, it's hiding out.
Ma Clayton, she spotted a funnel cloud yonder.
A twister?
it's weather twisters, no question there.
I gotta find my dog!
It's still trying to storm cellar, Junie.
Fixing to break in any minute.
I know how to shut to myself.
Blowing in fast.
Lady! Lady!
Junie! Come on, honey!
I can't find my dog!
Get out of the weather!
What in the world is happening?
Poor thing, don't June, what do you think it is?
Just look at it, Mom.
God, heavenly days!
Preacher, hey, Reverend, come take a look at this, will you?
What in creation is that?
Good God Almighty!
I think it's a man up there.
Wait, Jesus! It is a man!
It's him, Ma. It's him.
Look out for the trees!
He's heading round for the river! What is it? What is it?
Good God, it's fixing too.
Look out below! Hello down there!
Look out for the trees!
Oh, there he goes. Somebody do something! Come down from there!
Hang on, Judy!
Oh my God!
Judy!
Slam, baby, slam! Somebody slam me!
Oh my God! Oh my God! This guy.
Is he all right?
Don't grab now.
You move.
Where am I?
You're in gray, stranger.
Gray.
Want your boot back?
I got her.
Oh, God!
Pastor, come take a look at her.
Jonah,
I don't think she's breathing.
Somebody help her!
Jonah, come too.
Dear God.
Oh my God! My baby! She's fixing to die!
Is her heart beating?
Come on!
Does she have a pulse?
I don't know!
Get moving, people. Samantha.
Stand back, Mama. I'll do what I can. Oh, dear God, we're gonna heal and bless her.
This stranger among us, this man from the sky, knelt down beside the girl, put his face to hers. And then, an amazing thing happened. He held to that child and blew his own breath in her body. And I tell you, the second she opened her eyes, the wind ceased to howl and the rain stopped falling like that.
Sweet Jesus!
Oh, she's breathing.
Was he
God.
kissing her?
For the love of God, Homer.
Say, what's your name, mister?
Well, I don't know as I quite comprehend it, ma'am, but the fact is my name's Gray.
Gray, you say?
Galen P. Gray, ma'am. The pleasure's all mine.
If that's not the darndest thing I've ever heard.
Genuine honor.
I tell you, Plain resurrected that child.
Now, please, sir, let's not overstate the case. Resurrection and resuscitation are two entirely different kettles of fish. Having been involved in the past with various anatomical endeavors, I'm sure you'll understand why I'm keen to not have the term resurrectionist applied to my person, if not my reputation.
No offense intended.
None taken.
What in the world was that flying contraption?
Well, it's called a balloon, Mr.
Wingfield. Pastor Phineas Wingfield.
Pastor Wingfield. It holds a voluminous amount of heated and hence pressurized gaseous matter.
What?
A load of hot air, Homer.
Precisely. It's technically called an aerostat. They're really quite common in France.
Mr. Gray, I don't know how to thank you.
Are you all right, June?
I feel a little lightheaded.
You go home and get some rest now, June. Everything's gonna be fine. You might give her a dosage of hot tea and sorghum to ward off any chance of the croup, ma'am.
I tell you, say.
Hot tea is the ticket.
Just take it one step at a time.
Well, I don't know about you, but I could sure do with a stiff drink.
If you're drinking, mister, I'm buying.
Hard drink is the downfall of civilized man.
I don't cotton to whiskey, and I can't abide smoke. But, unlike a lot of good Christians, I'm willing to tolerate both in the name of commerce. And so, Mr. Galen P. Gray made his way down to the corner cafe.
Which ain't quite a cafe, more of a tavern.
It ain't even on the darn corner.
Now, diet
He said,
is the key to constitutional fortitude, friends. It simply stands to reason that what you put into your system is what'll eventually work its way forth.
the privy's out back, if that's what you're hinting at.
No, I think my gastrointestinal tract is holding up just fine for the time being, ma'am. But what are your specials this evening?
Meat and potatoes.
I'll try the beef.
How do you want your beef cooked?
Well done, please.
I like it rare myself.
A lot of folks do.
Meat don't taste right if there's not just a little blood running.
Black in it, please.
You want that seared on the outside, pink in the middle then?
Ma'am, would you please cook the steak through and through?
If that's how you want it.
That is how I prefer it, ma'am.
Perfect waste of a good piece of meat.
Thank God they don't have the vote.
Doc, why do you take your steak black?
Well, it kills all the bacterial matter.
Bacterial matter?
Yes, viruses, germs, amoebas, that sort of thing. Well, they carry diseases like a puppy totes slippers.
I don't see nary one.
Well, they're microscopically small, but they are tenacious, Mr. Collins.
There's germs in the corner cafe?
By the looks of it, I'd say probably a few million have set up housekeeping in this very room.
Good God Almighty!
No call to alarm, Mr. Collins. Whiskey is a fine way to keep them at bay. Serves to purify the system.
What about soda pop?
Well, carbonated beverages, when consumed in moderation, have actually proven to benefit the metabolism, son.
That don't surprise me.
I hope you brought your appetite with you.
Ooh, if that don't smell tasty, I don't know what does.
I cooked it up beautiful for him.
Ma'am, I thought I told you to...
Oh, now, Doctor, it's barely pink. Cut it.
Oh, I've seen cows hurt worse than this get better.
It's not bloody. It's juicy. It's tasty. Just taste it. Take a bite.
Doctor?
If you'll excuse me, I think I have some pressing business to attend to.
Well, good Lord.
It don't look too German to me.
Now, Galen Pegrave might be a mite bit squeamish, but having a bona fide healer in town was a new thing for people, and I don't mind telling you, we couldn't wait to get sick.
Now, what seems to be the problem, Miss Wingfield?
I'm just a tad bit on the peaked side.
A peaked, you say?
Yeah, I've got no more pep than a dog in the sun.
Maybe you've picked up a bit of a bug.
You know what the funny thing is? No matter how worn out I get, I just can't seem to sleep. I toss, turn, up, down, pacing the floorboards all night. I guess I'm just naturally nervy. I always have been.
Open your mouth and say, ah for me.
Ah.
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 Tonsils look normal.
I've never been to a doctor before, but I want you to know I am enjoying it.
Oh, good.
I can't help but notice, you don't seem to have a ring on your finger. I take it you must be a widower, Doc.
I've never known the privilege of marriage.
Guess what? We have something in common. I've never been married myself.
Miss Tiny, I want you to take this jar out to the privy and relieve yourself in it.
Right. Want to trot that thought by me again?
I need to examine your urine, ma'am.
What kind of an animal are you?
I'm merely trying to ascertain the root cause of your chronic insomnia.
Oh, my God. I have insomnia.
Tell me about it.
I suspicion for years I've had something drastically wrong with me, Bev. I just didn't know what it was.
Guess what I have? I have migraines.
Oh, you poor thing, you.
What do you do for it?
Hot compress. Migraines ain't nothing. Mr. Collins has, what do you call it, dear?
It's a dyspeptic ulcer. Dear.
Well, I have arthritis right here in my hand.
Oh, my dear God.
It's incurable.
Insomnia.
Migraines.
Arthritis,
Ulcers.
Rheumatism.
menstruation.
Indigestion.
Etc.
From all across the country they came.
They're lame.
The infirm.
The sickly.
The peaked.
The down in the mouth.
People flocked to the healer like birds flock to crumbs. There was something wrong with you if you didn't have something wrong with you.
I tell you, I won't set a foot near that man.
Why not?
'Cause he's nothing but trouble, that's why. Now, I may not be able to read, but I have committed the Bible chapter and verse to my heart. Now, you got your leprosy, you got your demon possession, and you got your plagues by the score. But there ain't not one single germ in the Bible.
Folks felt a lot better before that man came to town, Pastor. It's true.
I wish he'd float right back to whence he came, Homer.
Have you got something personal against him, or is it just biblical?
Well, I hate to talk, Margaret.
I know you do, Pastor. I hate to talk too.
Tana told me that he asked her to disrobe herself right in front of him, too.
Did she do it?
I'm not at the liberty to say. But what kind of scoundrel would ask a fine woman, a good Christian flower, to do such a thing? I tell you, it stinks to the core.
Personally, I'm all in favor of nudity.
June.
When I went to see him, I took all my clothes off, every last stitch. Then he stripped down to his birthday suit, too, and we danced around a fire and sacrificed small animals and house pets till the sun came up.
Joni, don't Josh.
If I had a sister, a girlfriend, or something, I sure wouldn't let him near her.
Well, I best be heading home, Pastor.
Mind yourself, Joni.
Bye, June.
Bye, Homer.
I'll buy you soda pop sometime.
Pastor, where's Tana been keeping herself? She wasn't to service on Sunday nor choir practice on Wednesday.
That darn doctor told her to sleep in the daytime and stay up all night.
Well, I never heard such a thing.
Tana told me she saw him late last night, and just take a guess where he was. The graveyard.
The graveyard?
What was Doc doing out there?
Did he have a shovel?
He's some sort of secretive free thinker. Maggie, there's no telling what he could do. Dig up dead people, desecrate bodies, just for curiosity's sake.
He wasn't digging up dead people, was he?
I don't think we've sunk to that yet. But I know a preacher who knows a fellow who talked to somebody who lives in the city.
And?
Apparently there's this doctor he knew. Kept a whole jar of gizzards. I'm talking human-type gizzards. Pickled them right there on his desk.
Pickled him?
Pickled them, that's what he did. Just like a God-blessed cucumber, Homer. I tell you, it gives a man pause.
I don't know what this world's coming to anymore.
In reality, I'm sound asleep right now. But for purposes of telling the story, I'm a tree.
I'm a tree with a swing in me.
And this is a clothesline.
And this is June Jard, in case you haven't guessed it by now. And I'm one tree with a real bad crush on the prettiest girl in the country.
Mom,
Yes, June?
do you think you'll ever get married again?
I doubt it.
Why not?
Because I'm still in love with your father, that's why. I imagine I always will be.
But, Mom, just suppose you met somebody you liked a lot and he asked you to marry him. What would you do then?
Honey, that's not going to happen.
Why not? What if it did? Come on.
It won't.
I'm not saying it will, but it's possible, ain't it?
June, what's your point?
I think we should ask Dr. Gray over for dinner.
No,
Why not?
because I have no interest in courting that man. None whatsoever.
Well, what if I do?
Oh, Lord, June!
I like him, Mom. I really do. I mean, I really, really like him.
June, he's too old for you.
You were in love at my age.
Yes, but your pa was no older than me.
I'm old enough to know how I feel.
You don't even know Dr. Gray.
Then why don't we ask him over to dinner and rectify that?
No, June.
But, Mom,
I said no, honey.
maybe he could just make a house call or something.
You're not sick.
Well, you are.
I am not ill in the least.
Then how come you're always throwing up in the morning, huh? Are you having a baby?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I mean, I don't know if I am or not yet.
Maybe you should ask Dr. Gray.
We've already spoken about it at length.
Well, what did he say?
I don't want to talk about this.
You sure act like you're having a baby.
Honey, look at me. We don't need another mouth to feed. Right now, it's all I can do to look after you and take care of myself, honey. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
No.
I'll explain it sometime when you're older.
The first thing I'm planning to do when I'm older is move to the city and set up housekeeping with Dr. Galen P. Gray. He'll teach me to nurse, and I'll help him with patients. And we'll have a real nice house with a nice little office downstairs. I'll cook him nice meals, and he'll buy me nice clothes. And we'll have lots and lots of children. Which means we'll need to spend a lot of time in the bedroom, but that's just the way it has to be.
If oak trees could talk, I'd be crying.
Now, it's really just a scratch.
If it were just a scratch, you wouldn't be bleeding like a river. Shut your dang mouth. Dr. Gray, Doctor, you awake?
You know, the funny thing is, it really don't hurt all that much, Belva.
Doc, are you decent?
Be right with you, people.
Sorry to wake you.
Jeez, why'd you have to go?
I wasn't trying. I was just...
Sure.
Now, what seems to be the problem, Mr. Collins?
It ain't me, Doc. It's him. He's cut his hand real bad.
Oh, God.
I was trying to sharpen a plow.
I went to bed early. I went to sleep directly.
I was intending on planning by the light of the moon.
Next thing I knew, Mr. Collins was bleeding all over my clean sheets.
How bad is it?
Well, it's a gash, Doc. No question there.
How deep is it?
Well, look at it. You see all them, what do you call them inner things?
Tendons, I reckon.
Yeesh.
Well,
Doctor?
Good Lord, I think he's fell back to sleep.
Honey, I don't believe he's sleeping. I think the man fainted. Flat out.
I'll fetch some water. We'll bring him around.
Hey, Gray. Gonna come to it now. Sober up, buddy. I got a hand to fix. He's coming too, Belva.
Just hold on. I'll give him a dousing.
Dousing? No, ma'am. I'll be fine. Just give me a second to compose myself.
Sure.
Now, Mr. Collins, if you'll dip your hand in that bucket, please. I can't tell you how much it would aid my examination.
Sure, I could swash it around.
Doc, you feeling all right?
I'll be fine, ma'am. Don't worry about me.
Good Lord, this water's getting dark fast.
Doc, had I managed to...
Operate? Madam, I can't do it. It's as simple as that. There's nothing else to it.
What kind of doctor can't cut on nobody?
Well, see, dead people I don't have so much trouble with, but live ones, they just take the starch right out of my system in 2 seconds flat.
Must make it difficult for you.
It plagues me, ma'am, it does.
If you want, I'll just go home and let her stop bleeding alone.
Oh, no. Then you might get infected, and believe me, I do not want that. Miss Collins, if you'll just hold his hand out here for me, I'll see if I can bind him up properly.
You know, you think it'd hurt a lot more than it does.
Maybe you sliced a nerve open. Are you numb?
No.
Wiggle your fingers around for me. Oh, I think you'll be fine. The most important thing is just to keep the skin grafting together.
Hey, Doc, what's this mark on his arm?
Could be a mole or a birthmark of some sort.
I never noticed that, Belva.
Have you got any others?
Not that I know of.
Look, there is one on me, too.
I'd be doggone.
Maybe some type of eczema or something. Just let me know if it changes shape or size any.
All right.
You tie a right handsome knot, Doc.
Keep it clean and keep it dry. Please, don't try to plow, for God's sake. You show infection the crack of a door and it barges in like a Mormon.
I thank you again, sir. Good night.
Good night, all.
I'm too young for age spots.
I would call it a beauty mark, Bella.
A beauty mark.
What say you and me take the long way home tonight, honey?
Miss Collins, are you spooning me?
This much excitement at this time of night really puts a man in a mood.
Well, maybe you should hurt yourself more often.
In the long days that followed the death of my husband, I dreamt about him near every night. In my dreams, my husband rose up from the earth. The dust fell from his eyes, and his voice was so familiar and lonesome, it scared me. Sometimes I could feel his breath through the window. I could feel his touch in my sleep. And so, when I found myself dreaming in tears and I woke up alone, I went to the graveyard to see him. What are you saying?
Mrs. Muldoon. Fancy meeting you here.
What are you doing?
I'm saying Kaddish, ma'am.
Say what?
It's a prayer for the dead.
It's a foreign language, ain't it?
Well, to some folks it is.
It sounds beautiful. Who are you praying for?
Well, you see this stone here. Well, the name is worn away, but I noticed a star on it.
Oh, nobody knows who that is. We figured he must have passed on at Christmas on account of the star.
Oh, no, ma'am. That's a Star of David. Well, whoever this is, I figure he must be one of my people.
You don't mean he's kin to you?
Well, not by blood, no.
Would you pray that prayer for my husband? For me?
Well, I'd be honored to, Mrs. Muldoon. It's a right pretty stone, ma'am. You've done him proud.
Thank you.
This prayer for the dead. Well, it's all about life. It speaks to the glory of God, but it's said for us, you see.
You're talking about what I asked you before.
I'm talking about your so-called indigestion, yes?
Dr. Gray, I haven't changed my mind any. I loved my husband more than I know how to say. But I can't have this child without him. I just can't.
Sometimes decisions we make in a moment of grief are decisions that we come to regret. Grief changes people. Believe me, I know.
I know that there's certain things you can do for a woman who wants to be rid of a baby.
I think you should perhaps give this a little more thought and a little more time.
The last thing I want to give this is time. Don't you understand that? I'm only a few months along. If you don't want to help me, I'll do it myself.
I beg you not to do that.
I've heard tell of roots and of things that...
Poisons is what they are. Do you want to kill yourself and that baby in the process? Is that what you want? To lie out in some field and bleed to death?
No, sir, I don't. But I need to be shed of this baby. Why won't you help me?
Because I don't know if it's right.
Well, then you take it to God in prayer, sir. And you pray for the souls of us all.
Amen. I thank you.
Ma'am, I think someday someone is gonna come along and he'll see you for the wonderful person you are. And he'll love this child, whoever he is, because it's a part of you. Life is here. Life is here. And life is here.
I just asked you to pray, not to preach.
Point taken. Mrs. Muldoon, do you think it would be too terribly forward of me to ask to escort you home?
I don't think that'd be too awfully terrible, no. The weather report is as follows.
Spring turns to summer, and summer to fall.
There's more leaves upon the earth now than stars in the sky.
And the harvest is in the works.
Sunrise, you find half of the countryside out in the fields,
They're showing up corn now.
thrashing the wheat like a misbehaved child.
But here at the preacher's house, nobody's tending the fields this day.
For here at the preacher's house, sickness has found a home.
Oh, Lord.
Pastor Wingfield, Miss Tiny.
Oh, come right in, Doctor.
What's he doing here?
Send for him, brother.
Well, send him away. I don't need no doctrine.
Pastor, you're red as a beet.
I'm fine. I'll be fine. I appreciate your concern, sir, but prayer's the answer.
Phineas, whatever this is, you can't pray it away.
It passes in time, every time. Now, why don't you show him the door?
Why don't you tell me what's ailing you?
Oh, gee, I don't know. Pain is what's ailing him.
Well, pain in the abdomen?
Lord!
The lower abdomen?
Doc, it's lower than lower.
Oh, I see. Miss Tiny, why don't you give us a moment?
But Doc, I was the one.
He'll
who
be
called you.
fine. Just, you sleeping all right, are you?
I love the night.
Oh, good.
I'll pray for you, brother.
All right, Pastor Wingfield, drop your drawers.
Never.
Come on, Pastor, get out of those trousers.
You get out your own trousers.
Let's try to be reasonable here, shall we?
I'm not about to drop to my skivvies in front of the likes of you.
Pastor.
I'm not even kin to you.
All right, then. If that's how it's going to be, then to heck with you.
What are you doing?
If I can do it, so can you. Now get out of those trousers.
Blessed is he that walketh not in the counsel of the unholy, nor standeth in the way of the scornful, for his
delight is in the law of the Lord, and he shall be like as a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in his season, etc., etc.
Amen.
Now, let's see if we can get to the bottom of this, so to speak.
Don't touch me.
I know you're tender.
Just keep your paws to yourself.
All right. Well, would you say the pain is localized here?
Tad low.
Here?
Low and a tad to the east.
So the pain is in the region of the groin, if you'll pardon my French.
Feels like somebody stuck a knife in me.
Sharp pain or dull pain?
Shooting clean through my backside.
And does your urine have a darkish hue to it?
Blood is all get out, yeah.
Well, Pastor, I think you've got yourself a stone.
Stone?
A kidney stone. It blocks the urethra and causes some swelling, a great deal of discomfort.
Are you gonna have to cut on me?
Believe me, I would hope to avoid that. Truly, I would. But the first thing to do is to try and relieve some of the pain.
Oh, I'd be more than grateful.
You know, actually, Benjamin Franklin, my personal favorite among the founding fathers, suffered from exactly the same ailment.
Benjamin Franklin had stones?
Well, he had a stone the size of Gibraltar. It pained him so much so that it almost crippled him. But, being a man of some scientific prowess, he was able to relieve himself of it by using physics, reverting the torsonic position, thereby releasing the stone from the groinular region.
Meaning?
He stood on his head.
You've got another thing coming.
Pastor, the pain will get worse. Septicemia sets in, the body begins to poison itself. Right now, that stone is lodged tight as a drum in your tract. But merely put gravity to work and invert the torso, and that stone will rise up and free itself.
Well, if it worked for Benjamin Franklin,
That's it.
him being a founder and all.
All right, there you go. Now, just palms to the floor. Trust me.
I'm trying.
All right. Upsy daisy.
Oh, God.
Yes? Brother, are you all right? Don't worry, I'm coming.
Miss Tiny, if you'll avert your eyes, please.
Oh.
What in the world? What in the world are you doing to him?
Madam, if you would just afford us a modicum of modesty.
God, I've been healed. Oh,
You've been healed.
oh blessed
What?
relief.
What are your pants doing, Dan?
It's all in the interest of science, ma'am. Now, if you just give me a hand with his... Pastor, what's this mark on your leg?
Oh, I haven't felt this good in ages.
If you'll take his feet for me, please.
Surely.
I'd like to examine that.
Watch it now.
Pastor, have you ever scrutinized this?
Oh, I've noticed the same thing on me. I mean, I've got one right here, another right there, and on the back of my drumstick.
Now, just keep his toes to the heavens, ma'am. Do you mind if I...
Now, hack it on up there. You take a gander.
Doctor, how long you figure out to do this?
Well, the pain, I warn you, Pastor, will get worse. That stone is going to have to come out. Let's just hope it passes of its own accord.
It ain't bruised, is it?
No, it's definitely a mark of some sort.
I'm getting my dizzy here.
Well, I think we'd better let him down now. There you go. That's it. Easy does it. Rise up just a tad at a time, Pastor. Now, I warn you, the pain will strike again. They say the only thing worse than passing a kidney stone is birthing a baby.
Well, leastways, he knows what to do for it now.
Doctor, we surely give thanks.
Pastor Wingfield, Miss Tiny.
Tiny, now I've misjudged him.
What in the world are you doing?
Just the next time you wash yourself, Rebecca, be sure to look yourself over.
I never come down with a thing when I'm pregnant. Can't even catch a cold.
That's just an old wives' tale.
Well, I'm an old wife, and I believe it. Be careful, Galen. This old Johnny Boat's always been tippy. Sit down. Sit down. Sit for Pete's sake!
Oh, I'm not completely inept in matters of physical prowess. Well, I've captained a balloon, for God's sake.
You're facing the wrong direction, Captain.
So I am.
Just mind your bounce now.
Well, bid farewell to civilization, such as it is.
Adam and I used to picnic on that cove over yonder.
I'll paddle you somewhere else then.
Don't get us caught in the current now. Gosh, it's a lovely day, ain't it?
Well, Becky, I've got to honestly tell you that while I've traveled from one edge of the sea to the other, this scenery I'm seeing now is just about as scenic as scenery can be.
You mean up in your balloon?
Well, the balloon was an interesting means of transportation at an extraordinarily inopportune time, but I think I'd just as soon stay a bit closer to home from now on.
Is this home to you now?
Well, home has always been people, not places to me, you see. My pa was a traveling medicine man.
You mean a doctor like you?
No, he was a charlatan, Becky. We used to sell elixirs out of the back of a wagon.
You didn't?
Nostrum's elixir and medicinal cure-all. Oh, yes, that man could sell dog shit to cats.
What's it do to you?
Well, if you funnel a mixture of prune juice, cod liver oil, and alcohol down any man's gullet, it's bound to move him in more ways than one.
Oh, good heavens.
What is it?
I feel it right here. It's kicking.
Well, isn't that something? I wonder if I could hear his heartbeat.
Gavin, you're rocking the boat.
Oh, Becky.
Be
Calm
careful.
down. Well, I'm not going to capsize us, Becky. You're such a worrywart. Hello in there.
Galen.
Hold on. He's tapping out a message.
What do you hear?
He wants to know what his name is going to be.
If it's a boy, you can tell him I've settled on Galen.
Now, Becky, don't get me wrong. I feel a foot taller. I really I do. But a name is a sacred thing. It should honor an ancestor. Well, I would name a boy for his father.
It isn't his child. It isn't mine neither. It's yours, Dr. Gray.
Mine, ma'am?
You're the one having this baby. Not me. You wanted it, Gavin. You got it.
Now, Rebecca.
I done made my mind up. After I birth him, I'll give him to you.
Becky, it's a mighty sweet thought.
It ain't a thought, sir. It's a fact.
Becky.
I think you'll make a fine mother.
I can't care for a baby on my own.
Well, somebody has to.
Dr. Gray? Doctor?
We better head for shore, Galen.
Diapers and feeding and Jesus Jehovah.
Hey, Doctor!
He's over here, June!
Becky.
Gavin, this baby belongs to you.
Oh, dear God.
Doc, I've been looking all over for you.
Hold on a second, Junie. Rebecca, if you want a ring on your finger, there's better ways.
Don't flatter yourself.
Doc, you gotta run by the Collins house right away.
Junie, what's wrong, honey?
Belle's been coughing just awful. She's running a fever. Doc, she can hardly breathe.
Oh my Lord, is there anything I can do?
I think you've accomplished enough for one day.
Oh, dear God.
You want me to stay on and help you? Because I've always been interested in nursing and whatnot.
Mrs. Collins?
Dr. Gray's here now. He'll tend to you.
Go, fetch me a basin of boiling hot water.
What's wrong with her?
Now, Junie.
Do what he tells you, girl.
Easy now, ma'am, easy. Just breathe. Breathe right on by it.
I don't know what this is. Belva?
Easy now, ma'am, easy. Just concentrate. Slow down. Breathe. There you go. Just breathe.
Doctor?
Oh, dear God.
Do not tell me you need Do you need a drink?
Just clean her up a bit for me. All right, ma'am. Just don't let the blood frighten you. You're gonna be just fine. Everything is gonna be just fine. Just breathe and concentrate on breathing. Take a nice deep breath and hold it. Just hold it for me.
Scare me to death, honey.
There you go. That's it. Just breathe.
Seems like choking inside her own body.
Dr. Gray,
Bring it here.
what's wrong with her?
She's been coughing up blood, Junie.
Blood?
All right, now, ma'am. There you go. That's it. Just slow down. Turn your face towards the light for me and open wide. Breathe in deeply, and then let's get a look at that throat. Junie, stay out of the way.
Yesterday evening, the monster started to seep like a sieve, and then she sat in the coffin.
Ma'am, I'm gonna cover your face with this. I want you to breathe in some steam. Breathe. There you go. Now, that feels a mite bit better, I'd think.
Doctor, did you hear me?
I heard, sir.
It's fixing to rain.
Those marks of her started to seep, you say?
Puffed up to the size of a damn silver dollar and blistered wide open.
Whatever these lesions are, well, I think they've cropped up and festered inside of her. That they've spread to her throat and her lungs. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Seeing him come down with the two.
Mr. Collins, I want this house quarantined.
Quarantined?
Good Lord, it's coming down fast.
Why has God done this to her?
The weather report is as follows.
There was thunder
And lightning.
and sickness.
And dread.
Every day, somebody found a mark on them.
Every night, somebody else took a fever.
And still it continued to spread.
Anatomy of Grey.
Chapter 2.
This time, this terrible onslaught of sickness was a frightening time. But secretly, for a girl who was fated to live in the most boring place in the entire world, secretly, it was also the best of times, because she got to spend so much time with Dr. Galen P. Gray. In fact, the doctor and June were together so much, one would think they were practically married. Well, except for the fact that they didn't have sex, or sleep in the same bed, or kiss, or hold hands. There's very little that they did not share. She went where he went, and she did what he did, for June had become his assistant.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Just take it one breath at a time, Doc. You're going to be fine. Drink. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Why are you so scared of blood?
I don't know.
You think you'll ever get over it?
Do we have to talk about this?
Why do you wash your hands after every single patient?
Because it gets rid of the germs.
How?
Well, I don't know. It just does.
Well, if washing kills germs, how come you don't make everybody who's marked just take a bath and wash the marks right off them?
Because that wouldn't work.
Why not?
Well, the germs are an external symptom of a disease that's already within them.
Then why don't you wash out their innards? Make them drink hot water and soap to kill the germs.
That wouldn't work either.
Why not?
Can I ask you a question? Why do you ask so many questions?
Because you told me there's no such thing as a dumb question, only a dumb answer.
Well, I love your questions.
You do?
As a matter of fact, well, I love them so much that I want to parcel them out. And from now on, I want you to limit yourself to one question a day.
One a day.
One a day.
Okay.
Monday.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Tuesday.
Do you believe God is good?
Yes.
Wednesday.
Why?
Why what?
Why do you believe God is good?
Well, don't you?
I don't know. They say his eye's on the sparrow, but if that's true, why do people get sick and die? I mean, sparrows don't pray. They don't go to church. They don't tithe. They don't do anything but fly around and be sparrows. And if God cares more about them than he does about us, well, how good is he?
Well, how do you know sparrows don't pray?
Thursday.
How come you've never been married?
Friday.
Have you ever had a girlfriend?
Yes.
Is there anything else you want to add to that?
No.
I wanted to ask him what happened to her. If she died tragically or flung herself from a bridge because he forsook her. Or she forsook him and left him heartbroken. And that's why I couldn't settle down. And probably never would settle down until he met the right person. And I thought we both had a pretty good idea who that might be. But then again, I was partly afraid it might be my own mother, and I couldn't bear to ask about that. Besides which, I already used my question for Friday.
Which brings us to Saturday.
Doc, what do you think happens after we die?
Well, I don't know.
Can I take that question back and ask a new one?
Yes.
If you believe God is good, then do you believe in heaven?
Well,
And if you do you think I'll ever see my father again? And if you do, how old do you reckon I'll be when I see him? Because I'm planning to live as long as I can, which means I'll be a lot older than him when I die.
see,
And that'll be weird, because I'll look like his mother, except feel like his daughter, except by then I'd probably have kids of my own, and they'd end up confused if I ended up younger than them. So how do you think that all works itself out?
I think you'll always be your pa's daughter.
You think I'll ever stop missing him?
Well, no, I think you'll probably miss him for the rest of your life.
I don't need eternity. I'd give up anything if I could spend just a day with him. Or an afternoon, even. If I could spend one afternoon with my father, that'd be heaven enough for me.
And what would you say to him, June?
I don't know. I guess I just tell him that I love him and I want him back.
June, being June, saved her last, deepest, and most personal question for Sunday. And once again, she wrote her thoughts down.
Do you think I'm pretty? Check this box for yes and this box for no.
Oh, June! It may be trite and immature to you, Mother, but there's some things you just don't say out loud.
I think you're 15.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means I'm not going to answer that question now. If you don't mind, I have patients to tend to.
Doc, I know you're as busy as a three-legged cat in a sandbox, so I won't take up much of your time. But I did wake up this morning, and my head hurts so badly I can't barely see.
Do you have any fever or aches and pains?
No.
Are your glands swollen?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
June, will you fix a hot compress, please?
No.
Oh, I've practically soaked my darn head in hot water. It ain't helping any. It's probably just what you said, Doc. It's probably just worry is all. Oh, are you coming to choir tonight?
Not if I can help it.
Maggie, I found a mark on you.
Where?
Right here on the back of your neck.
I can't be marked. I haven't done anything wrong.
Well, neither has anyone else.
Preacher's too prideful, and Belva's gossip, and Crutch drinks like a fish. I read the Bible. I pray every day.
Maggie, if God sent down lightning to strike down everyone who'd done wrong, well, then we'd have theologians predicting the weather.
Well, you tell me what's causing it then.
Oh, my gosh, it's a disease. It's spread by germs, not by God.
I never heard of these germs things before you came here.
Maggie, germs have existed since the dawn of creation.
I didn't have this before you touched me.
Yes, you did.
You're the one causing this, ain't you?
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
No, I can't be marked. I couldn't. I know it.
Maggie, come back here. Would you talk some sense into that woman? Maybe she'll listen to you.
Why would she listen to me? I'm just a kid.
Hey, June, you come to the choir?
No.
I can't do this. I can't go on as if nothing's happened at all. I can't concentrate. I don't know how any of you can.
Now, Margaret.
I'm telling you, something is terribly wrong with that man.
Oh, now, Dr. Gray's done a world of good here. You know that as well as I do.
You call bringing sickness upon us a good thing to do?
Oh, well, he surely did wonders for me.
He's got the poor Collins locked up in their own house.
That's because he's trying to keep the rest of us from catching it.
Well, guess what? It ain't working.
Well, if you think about it in a factual fashion.
You want the facts, preacher? I'll give you the facts. Fact 1, he touched me. In fact 2, he mocked me. In fact 3, it's happened to you and you, now me, and you know it.
I don't have any marks on me, Maggie.
You had any truck with the doctor?
I talked to him, sure.
Did he touch you?
Well, now that you mention it...
Did he or didn't he?
No.
Y'all see there?
I went to see him not 2 days ago.
And?
Did he touch you?
He examined me head to toe, Homer. And I'll tell you what else, if I felt any better right now, I'd be twins.
Oh, why don't you go back to sleep for a couple of years?
Oh, why don't you wake up, Maggie?
You are so smitten with him, you've gone blind. And you too.
Would I let my daughter near him if I thought he was causing this?
Ladies, sisters, please. Sickness is a hard thing to fathom, I grant. But I believe the Lord God is a loving creator. Now, I figure he put this mark on us to test us, don't you see?
Test us how, Pastor?
You see it left and right in the scripture. All the saints suffer. Just think about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Look at how God tested Jonah and Job.
Well, why don't he mock Dr. Gray? He's a Jew. They claim to be God's chosen people.
Oh, everybody claims to be God's chosen people.
The Jews are a Bible-toting people. Of course, I don't tote half of it. When the rapture comes, I doubt you Jews will be going to heaven. Maybe God don't want to waste his time on them.
That's about the most small-minded thing I've ever heard.
There's a mark on you, Rebecca.
There is not.
Where?
There's a mark on him?
Where?
It's right here.
I don't know how he does it, but somehow he does it.
I've always been somewhat suspicious of him.
Pastor.
I'd keep your daughter away from him.
Pastor.
What is it? What's wrong, Mr. Collins?
It's Belva. She's dead.
Belva. Dead?
Oh, my lands.
Look, you gotta be stronger with that doctor. He won't let me bury her.
What do you mean?
I mean, he's wanting to carve on her.
Carve on a dead woman?
We'll put a stop to this, Crutch. Don't you worry.
I'll come with you, Pastor.
I tell you, that man is in a frenzy.
Dear Lord.
I knew it. I told you.
The news spread like a fire that night. Fire that was fueled by rumors, by fear, and by the fact that now even Rebecca was marked. Rebecca, with a child, was marked. If she could be marked, then that means anyone could. First, Junie Muldoon lost her father, and now her mother was marked. And so soon she feared, soon she'd be left with no one. Her boring little town wasn't so boring anymore. It was dying, and raging and boiling with fear. Men raced with lanterns and guns to the countryside, looking for the cause of this illness. The man from the sky, the Jew, the coward, the teacher, the spreader of germs and locusts of fears. Dr. Galen Gray.
That you?
Doc, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Wouldn't do what?
I'd skip town, but I sure wouldn't steal a horse. If Crutch Collins finds out you not only killed his wife, but went and took his best stallion, they'll hang you for sure.
I didn't kill Belva. It's crazy talk.
That might be crazy, but that's what they're saying.
Well, then, what do you recommend I do?
Take me along with you.
No.
Why not?
Because...
Because why? Are you mad at me?
No, I'm not mad at you.
I'm sorry I didn't stand up for you when you found a mark on Maggie. And I'm sorry I was fishing for compliments with that stupid check here for yes and check here for nothing. And I'm sorry I asked so many dumb questions. Now, please, will you take me with you?
No.
Is it because I'm not Jewish?
Oh, for God's sake.
Because I can turn Jewish. I think I've always felt Jewish. I just never had the word for it, but I'm like you. I may look like everyone on the outside, but on the inside, I always knew I was different.
let me make this as clear as possible. You're not coming with me. You're only 15.
16, March.
Your ma is having a baby. She needs you.
Well, she needs you too.
Junie, my future here, it's feathers and tar. Now, please, I have to go.
Will you answer just one more question before you go? Just one more, that's all.
What?
Is everybody who's marked gonna die?
I don't know. But I fear they will. You're not marked, are you?
No. But my mother, she is.
God. Oh, dear God.
Does that mean her baby's marked too?
Ma.
I told you it's down by the litter stable.
Just hold it right there, Dr. Gray.
June, has he harmed you?
My virtue's intact, Homer. Thanks for asking.
Go fetch Mr. Collins. You tell him to bring a rope, son.
You don't want my soul on your conscience.
For the love of God, Pastor, you aren't gonna hang him.
Did you know he tried to carve up poor Mrs. Collins right after she died?
I just wanted to perform an autopsy. That's all.
What's an autopsy?
June, now is really not the time for questions.
It's the devil's work, that's what it is.
It's an examination of the internal organs to determine the course of disease and the cause of death.
Are you all right, Pastor? You look kind of flushed.
It belonged to Hannah.
Doc, you aren't making him sick, are you?
What?
All he has to do is look at you cross-eyed, and boom! It's the mark of the beast!
Jonah, don't josh.
He's the devil, and I'm in league with him!
I really wish you hadn't said that.
The Lord is my light, my salvation. Whom shall I fear when the wicked of mine enemies come upon me?
Don't look at him.
They shall stumble and fall. And harden not
Don't
my face
be
to me.
his eyes.
Put not thy servant in danger. For he's the help of my plans.
Pastor Wingfield,
Keep away from me.
Go!
let's have a look at you, sir.
Are you crazy? Get on a horse and get out of here.
Junie, just hold on a second. You tender here, are you?
Jesus.
Oh, Pastor, I think that stone's gonna have to come out.
He's over here. Good Lord, he's killed the damn preacher.
He hasn't killed anyone, Homer.
I'm trying to help him.
Get away from him.
Oh, God, I'm dying.
Doc, I would like nothing more than to shoot you right now.
If you shoot him, I'll shoot you.
Junie, what's gone into you?
Let's just, I'll put the firearms down for a moment, please. Mr. Collins, if you shoot me, he's going to die.
And so are you. So make your choice and say your prayers.
Oh, God, have mercy.
Now, I may be wrong, but I think his kidneys are backing up on him.
You know how to save him?
I do.
Then save him and get out of town.
Junie, go fetch me a saddle blanket.
I hope you know what you're doing.
I think I've got everything with me that I need.
What you running around there for?
Mr. Collins, would you please point that damn gun at the ground before somebody gets his gonads blown off?
Where do you want it, Doc?
Just spread it out right here. Well, don't just stand there, son. Give me a hand with him.
Don't move.
All right. Ready. 1, 2, 3.
Jesus.
Careful now, careful.
Good Lord, that man's tender.
Just pass me that whiskey.
Here you go, Doc.
There we go. All right now, Pastor, I'm gonna give you some whiskey. It'll help with the pain.
He ain't took a drink in his life.
No, there's a first time for everything.
Just think of it as medicine, preacher.
All right, now get his shirt open.
He got the damn bottle half emptied already.
Let's see. Hold that lantern up for me, would you?
I hope to God this plague ain't in the bloodstream. You're gonna catch it for sure.
Catch it? You're the one giving it, ain't you?
Homer, I'm so damn stupid that I thought you were smarter than that. All right, now, funnel another dose down him.
It's gonna hurt like hell, Pastor.
Doc, have you ever done this procedure before?
Only to dead people, Junie. Only to dead people.
Keep drinking.
All right, now, whatever you do, don't let him start flailing around on me.
You got a grasp on him.
I hope to God so.
All right.
Boy, that's quite a knife you got there.
Ain't it?
All right. Get a grip on yourself. Here we go. Oh, I think I'm gonna pass out.
You can't quit him now, Doc. You got him wide open.
Here, take a drink, take it.
Would you look at that blood gushing?
Oh, Homer, go fetch us a pail of water.
Right now?
Don't make me beg you, son. Do as I say.
Go to the well at the church.
Junie, do you think you can handle instructions?
I usually make them up as I go along, Doc.
I'll make them up as you go along.
Okay.
Ooh!
He's gone.
Whiskey!
Whiskey!
Drink! Oh, there you go. Are you all right?
Uh-huh.
All right.
What do you want me to do?
You see that darkish thing there?
This one?
Darkish blue, right by the gallbladder.
Which one's the gallbladder?
Let's see, here. Right there. See it?
This thing right here?
Mr. Collins, there's a needle and thread in my pocket.
Got it.
Thread it.
You want me to cut it?
Let's see. Keep your hand steady. I'll pinch the vein for you. There you go now. Don't press with the knife.
Okay.
Just love with it and let the blade do your work.
You got any tweezers?
Here.
Look at that thing. It's the size of a walnut.
No wonder it pains him.
All right, then. There you go. I got the vein for you.
I got the little
Good for you, Jenny.
I got you that water, Doc.
Bring it here. All right now. Mr. Collins, would you hand me that needle and thread?
I'd say it's calls for a drink.
Don't you dare waste a drop of that whiskey. Here.
Hey.
Dip a little water in to rinse out the incision. Okay. And then I'll get to closing him up. And, a little whiskey to kill off the germs. Whiskey and water, June. Whiskey and water's the key.
I hate the taste of water.
Well, son, water's the best thing to purify the system. You can't live off nothing but soda pop.
I do.
You're not half bad with the needle there, Doc.
I always thought sewing was a kind of a female art.
Just like repairing a ripped up old sofa.
Let's see. Would you cut that needle? Would you cut that thread for me? Thank you.
You're welcome.
You finished?
Oh, thank God.
You did a fine job, Dr. Gray.
No, she did a fine job. Let's just hope he lives through it.
I didn't think you had it in you, Doc.
What do you know about that?
No. Mr. Collins, let me perform an autopsy on Belva. I beg of you. Let me learn what I can from her, please.
Look, it ain't right to cut a dead person, Doc. I can't let you do it. She's suffered enough as it is.
Very well. Well, then, let's get this man back home into his bed. Mr. Collins, if you'll take his feet for me, and, Homer, if you'll, prop up the middle.
Careful now.
All right, now. Ready? Set? Up.
Oh, I'm too damn old for this.
Careful not to jostle him, boys.
Lord, this blanket's a mess.
Hey, Junebug, can you grab my gun for me?
Surely. After my father died, I felt so angry and sad and confused that I sat down and I wrote a long letter to the powers that be. I wished for a doctor. I prayed for a healer. But I had no idea that the doctor I wished for was me.
The weather report is as follows.
First it got colder, and then it got warm.
The first sign of illness was fever.
I felt as if my very soul was on a scavenger hunt to find God.
You're getting warmer and warmer and warmer and warmer.
All right, Miss Tiny, let's have a look at your eyes.
Why?
Just sit still and look at me, please.
You are the nicest individual.
Your pupils are dilated.
Dilated. What does that mean?
I think you'd...
Bad or good?
I think you'd better lie down for a spell.
Okay. Actually, I don't have time to lie. And I gotta look after my brother. You know,
Your brother is doing just fine. June is looking after him.
June's just a child. She can't barely look after herself.
Let's just worry about you for right now.
You're getting warmer and warmer.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
After the fever set in, the markings are blistered.
I feel like I could crawl out of my skin.
Let's check your vitals.
No, thank you.
Miss Tiny, please. I need to examine you.
No.
I've got other patients to see today.
Whatever I'm doing, can you just help me, please?
Tiny.
I'll change. I can change. I can be a new person.
We've got to get that damn fever down.
Whatever I'm doing, I'll change it, I swear.
Well, I made a salve for you.
I'll change everything.
Tiny.
What?
Sit down and hush up right now.
I'm doing it. Right now. I'm sitting. I'm hushing. I'm healing. I'm changing. I'm gonna be fine. Ain't I? What in God's name are you doing to me?
It's only a salve, ma'am.
Well, it's burning.
Everything good for you has a price. Now, just let me work on you.
You missed the spot.
Thank you.
First Belva, then Tiny.
Then all across the countryside, people began to take ill.
What is happening to me?
You're getting warmer.
And warmer.
I've got to get myself straight with the Lord.
And warmer.
And warmer.
I ain't ready to go yet.
Dr. Gray.
Doctor, I know it's late.
I've got to look after my brother. You don't even know how to cook.
Doctor, I'm worried.
Sorry to wake you.
Doc, Mr. Collins ain't well at all.
Oh, God. I have sinful thoughts in me.
Just tell me how to take care of him, please.
Shameful things running through me like a river.
I thought I told you to go fetch the doctor.
Have you seen the doctor?
Doc, she's been coughing up blood all night long.
I can't get any nourishment down.
I want to be healed.
She just can't stop coughing.
Oh, God, forgive me.
Doctor, please.
No, oh, God, forgive me.
I don't know what to do for it.
Dr. Gray.
Doctor.
There's so many people.
I just hate to see him in pain.
Doctor, they need you to come to the house right away.
My God. Can't you do something for her?
You're getting warmer.
And warmer.
And warmer.
And warmer.
Sorry.
It was as if the fevers turned into a fire that consumed every soul in its sight.
Doctor told us to burn everything the sickness ever had apart, and
As the weather grew colder and the darkness grew longer, the fires were burning all over the county.
fires and fevers is all I recall.
But in the midst of this illness,
This terrible market upon us, as if a mark upon Cain.
a light came upon us.
Sleep, my baby. Go to sleep, my love.
A child was born.
Go to sleep,
Oh,
my
beautiful.
pretty little child.
Beautiful.
Perfect young baby.
That's my little sister we're talking about.
The baby was born on a night when so many stars jeweled the sky. You just want to reach up with both hands and take a few home. Night, I died.
Rebecca? Oh, Rebecca. Are you all right?
I'm just fine.
And the baby?
She's beautiful, Galen. She's just perfect.
Is she all right?
She's not marked, if that's what you mean.
Oh, thank God.
She looks just like her pa.
Well, all babies just look like constipated Eskimos to me. What are you naming her?
You take her.
But, Becky...
Galen, I'm marked. I can't keep this child, even if I wanted to, which I think I do. I just can't. You know that as well as I do. Just take her, please.
Becky...
I can't bear to fall in love with her more than I already have. I want you to take her and take June and leave.
You want me to take both your children?
Cross the river and never look back.
No, ma'am, I'm not doing it.
I don't want my children to die.
Well, I'm not gonna leave you here to die alone.
What good can you staying here possibly do? Except to sacrifice that little baby and June. You don't know the cause. You don't know the cure. You don't know anything.
Well, for the first time in my life, I know I'm a doctor. And I reckon a blind man could see my feelings for you.
You think I don't want you to stay? You think I'm not terrified? If you stay here on my account, and if my children catch this and die, I swear to God, I'll never forgive you.
I'll give her to June. That's what
You'll
I'll
do
do.
no such
June,
thing.
hey, Junie.
Oh, Pete's sake. She's just squalling because she's hungry. Just give her the bottle, Doc. That's all she wants.
Why don't you give her the bottle?
Stop your fussing. Come on. There you go. That's a girl. That's a good baby.
Well, you know what I think.
No, but I bet you're going to tell me.
Well, I think she's taken a shine to you.
I think she's got her pa's eyes. Don't get me wrong. She's a lot prettier than him.
Thank the Lord.
But it's like he's looking right back at me, Mama.
Fullness of time, June and her family walked down to the water's edge.
As those of us left on the good ground of Sheraton County gathered together that evening to bury our dead.
Those who were marked and those who were unmarked did part from each other.
Hello, Homer.
Evening, Miss Becky. Doc.
Homer.
Good golly, is that the new baby?
Ain't she the prettiest thing you ever laid eyes on?
No.
Hush up.
What's the name anyway?
I reckon I'll just call her Little Sister.
Hey there, little sister.
You three. Take care now.
I'll write you every day, Mama. I already miss you.
I miss you too, baby. Now go on, get out of here before I start crying.
I ain't never been nowhere else before. What's it like out there?
You'll navigate.
You not coming with us, I take it?
No, son, I mean to stay here.
I'm not saying goodbye to you.
Well, good. I'm not saying goodbye to you either.
Dr. Gray,
Dr. Muldoon, I trust we'll meet again soon.
I ain't never been in a boat before, neither.
Just mind your balance. You're gonna do fine.
what in the world do you have in there, Homer?
Soda pop.
Soda.
You want one?
Homer.
I figured it best if you head off, Doc.
Here. You mind the baby. I'll do the honors.
You want me to hold her?
Get used to it, Homer.
Hey there.
Goodbye now.
Mom. Oh, God, Mom.
When she's old enough to understand, you tell little sister, I love you both. Now go on, June. You have to be strong. Don't you ever look back.
The river shone bright as a promise that night.
And so, with the bright stars of evening to serve as a guide, they cast themselves into the water and traveled off into the world.
Ashes to ashes,
Ashes to ashes,
and dust on to dust.
dust unto dust.
Water.
Sir?
Water.
Well, Doc, it is a river.
Well, no, he only drinks soda pop, and, well, I boil my water, and, well, June does what I do.
She has since you got here.
It's the simplest thing in the world.
Water.
Junie,
What, Homer?
I heard what your mother said. Don't look back.
But I want to remember.
I know, but it'll just make you miss it all the more.
Don't tell me you're already homesick.
I never knew a man could miss dirt so much. But I tell you what, I miss my farm, Junie. I really do. I miss my dirt.
I have a baby. And I'm a virgin. So don't complain, Homer.
Didn't that happen to somebody else one time? Junie,
What, Homer?
what do you think we might find out there?
The rest of the world, I imagine.
Well, it can't be as pretty as Gray, Indiana.
June could not bear to look at the pain or the beauty of her childhood again. But she didn't want to forget. So at this very moment, under these very stars, and on this very river, she decided to compile a story in her mind to tell her little sister someday. So she'd understand that we all come from loss and love. And her story begins and ends like this. Once upon a time, there was a girl who looked remarkably like me.
I know it's true. It's all because of you.